a particularly precious parting gift. Along with my crazy little mama's remarkable life, the dreadful year of 2001 was winding down. Having made the heart-wrenching decision to settle her into an assisted living facility, I'd stayed with her in Dallas as much as I could, commuting from Houston. Still, Mama declined rapidly on my last run home and was hospitalized in my absence. The nurses told me she was frantic over the move, afraid my baby won't be able to find me. Sure enough, when she finally saw my happy face and heard my hearty, "Is this the room of Frances Moon?" her skeletal arms shot up in praise as she exulted. "Thank you, sweet Jesus, my baby found me." The sight of her was frightening, and when she hugged me, that fear became the truth I'd been running from. Hiding it as best I could, I eased out of her clinging embrace with the tried and true excuse of desperately needing to go to the bathroom. Out in the hallway, I dissolved into a sobbing ball of pain until a voice echoed around me. "Are you all right? Are you? What's wrong?" I lifted my head to see the concerned face of a young nurse and stood up to her concern with a fury she didn't deserve. "What's wrong? What's wrong with me? My mother's dying. That's all, just that. Everything else is hunky-dory here except for this one little thing. My mother is dying." Belying her youth, she commanded other nurses to help her get me into a room and quieted down. She seemed taken aback by the intensity of my pain. "She's obviously had a long and happy life. You know your mother's condition is terminal, don't you?" "Of course I know," I snapped. "But she didn't look like she was dying when I left 2 weeks ago." Now it was apparent the Grim Reaper had made a call on my Lucille Ball look-alike mama, leaving her with a visage I didn't recognize, but knew all too well. Her spirit was still there, as feisty and funny as ever, but her body was breaking down. She was literally skin and bones. "Well, Kaye Frances Moon, my name's Sherry," she began, "and you are one loved daughter. I've been taking care of your mom since she got here, and all she's done is talk about you. May I share some of what she said?" Like the frightened little girl I'd reverted to, I dried my tears and sat up straighter, the better to receive whatever comfort her words promised. "Well, first I need to tell you that sometimes when people get to the stage your mom's reached, they do and say things they wouldn't normally do or say, like cursing. Ladies who would never utter a curse word will suddenly just let them fly." The spontaneous belly laugh that rolled out of me startled her, but I didn't want to slow this train down 1 minute with explanations of how well-versed I was in my mother's salty language. Hesitantly approaching the acceptance station, I smiled and said, "Please, go on." "Well, I was feeding her soup one day and she was going on and on about you. She's so proud of you. She told me story after story of all you've done, the places you've been, especially when you went to the Cannes Film Festival and met Clint Eastwood. Woo-hoo! She loved that one. I mean, it was 2 weeks full of fantastic stories about her fantastic daughter. This day, I got so caught up in them, I didn't realize anything until she rolled right from, 'Yes, my daughter Kaye Frances is something else,' into, 'But honey, are you going to put that spoon in my mouth or am I going to have to slap the shit out of you first?'" And there it was. unwrapped and waiting for me to claim this life-longed-for gift. Affirmation of my mother's love, respect, and pride. Uproarious laughter released a flood of pure, unfettered tears of joy as I swooped Nurse Sherry into my arms and thanked her from the bottom of my still breaking, but now accepting heart, already beginning to mend. Buoyed by heretofore unheard words of praise and freed of old hurts and doubts, the fear of what I must face retreated as the strength I needed took over. I walked back to Mama's room with the joie de vivre she'd passed on to me. Recognition lit up her face as she summoned her most commanding mother voice to declare, "Kaye Francis, I've decided I'm moving back to Houston. And you can forget about all those smoking areas you made for me the last time I moved down. I told you then, little girl, I've been smoking since before you were a thought. And at 84, I'll smoke any damn place I want. Furthermore, you can put that frying pan up. I'm not dying. Now, let's see about getting me out of here." Classic Mama, with perfect timing. She throws down the best lines all the way to the end. The frying pan started when she was first diagnosed with cancer and actually entertained thoughts of dying. Knowing she'd chosen cremation, I should have known she was using humor to blunt any worry when she'd call on bad days to say, "Kaye, you better get the frying pan out." And I should have given thanks. Macabre though it was, her sharp wit had saved us from many a maudlin moment. My mother's indomitable spirit and soul-saving sense of humor were vital elements all through my life and carried me right up to her last breath 2 weeks later in my arms. In truth, that's what sustains me today. As far as I'm concerned, we're together yet, laughing and sharing a particularly precious parting gift bestowed by the telling of a story. Thank you.